Assalamu alaikum and very good day, everyone. Today we're going to discuss question June 2018 from FAR320 question 4. And question 4 here is on Mfrs 141, which is on biological assets. Right. So let's read the question together. Okay. FMB Berhad is principally involved in business of raising livestock. So they raise livestock. And on 1st of January 2017, FMB has 154-year-old calf. So that was the balance at the beginning of the year. So that was on the beginning of the year, 154-year-old calf. Right. And you need to know what are the fair value as at the beginning of the year for that 154-year-old calf. And then you have another information here that were regarding the purchase and the birth of 4 calf. Right. So on 1st of March 2017, this is the date of acquisition of 20 calf, and it is 40-month-old. Another one is another date of acquisition of a different age group, 2.5 years old calf, and you bought it for 15 of them. And then the last one is the one that you do not bought, but this is the one that you get through biological transformation. So this one is the initial recognition, because this is talking about calf that were born. How many of them? 4. That was the newborn. That is date of initial recognition. So the moment the calf was born, and 4 calf were born, so on that 1st of October, you already have a gain on initial recognition, which is referring to this figure here. And that is the fair value on the date that new calf is born, on 1st of October. So there is already a gain on initial recognition for the calf. Okay. Next, what we are going to see is looking at what is given in the question. You are also given information on the fair value less cost to sell for the different ages of calf at different dates, right? So you are given the price for 4-year-old calf, 14-month-year-old, and 2.5, as well as the 4-year-old calf here, the 14-month, 2.5, and the newborn, all the different age group, right? So these are given to you. And the one as at 1st of January here is the one for the 4-year-old calf that came from the previous year. The one as at 1st of March is the one for the one being acquired on 1st of March. The price is 104050. And on 1st of July, the 2.5-year-old calf actually has a fair value of 1,700 per calf. So the rest is the one for newborn calf on 1st of October, where you have the price of 600 on the initial recognition dates. It was already having a price of 600. Now we are going to look at what is required. The first requirement asks you to list the 3 recognition criteria. So the 3 recognition criteria is not part of the calculation, it's part of the theory. So you should be able to remember that the first criteria is that the entity has a control. That was the criteria to recognize. Control of what? Control of the asset. Yeah, control of the asset, and that one as a result of past event. And the past event here, for example, through the acquisition of the calf. that happen on 1st of March, yeah, and on 1st of July, for example. Number 2 is the second criteria. The second criteria is that you need to see that it is probable or not that probable that the car will be able to generate future economic benefits. So I put here FEB, future economic benefits, that the future economic benefits associated with the CAF, in our case here, the CAF is an asset, right? Associated with the asset will flow to the entity. Will flow means it will bring some maybe revenue or maybe bring in some cash, will flow to the entity. The next one is number 3, where number 3 is that the fair value, since the standard is using fair value, the fair value, if it is available, the fair value, or the cost, if the fair value cannot be obtained or cannot be measured reliably because no active market, fair value or the cost can be measured reliably. Okay, you are done with the first part and you can get 3 marks for that. Now we go on to the second part. Second part asks you to color computation of what? Of the amount of changes in fair value that you can recognize in the SOPR as at the end of the year. So meaning that what are the changes in the fair value that you need to reflect as at the end of the year by comparing it with the one at the previous date according to the different age group. And you need to compute this using the changes for the price and also taking into consideration the changes relating to physical condition or physical characteristic. And the third part of the question, part C, asks you to calculate the carrying amount of biological asset to be recognized in the statement of financial position as at 31st of December. So you need to find out what are the fair value less cost to sell on these dates for each different age group as at that date. So meaning that taking into consideration the biological transformation from the beginning of the year or from the date of purchase or from the date the calf were born. And so looking at what is the age of those different age attribute by the end of 31st of December. Okay, let's start. The first part. So the first part, we are going to calculate the fair value, right? The changes in fair value. We start off with the fair value due to price changes. So we're going to find out the gain on the fair value. Yeah, on the fair value, gain on fair value changes. We start off with the one due to price changes. So if you talk about price changes, you should understand that this is looking at different date because we want to see the change in price. So different date, but the same characteristic, same age in this case, same physical characteristic. Okay, we'll start off by doing this for the different age group that we have. So remember, different date but same age. So you need to go and figure out what are the different age that you have and list down, right? So you need to look at the age group that you have. So first, let us start with the one that you have, the youngest one first, which is the newborn calf. So the newborn calf, we put here newborn. How many of them? The newborn. So the newborn, there are, if you look here, there are 4 of them, newborn. I put here 4. Then you go on looking at the second age group. The youngest one is 2.5-year-old. 2.5-year-old. I put here 2.5-year-old. How many of them? That one, based on what you have here, is 15. 15, right? Next, the next one is 14 month. How many of them? 14 month. You have 20. Half. And the last one is the one given in the balance given there. That was 4-year-old. And how many of them? 150. So what you need to do now is to compare the price of this different age at the age 4, 2.5, and 14, and also 4 years old at those different days. We'll start off with 4-year-old. For the 4-year-old, as at beginning of the year, 1st of January, the 4-year-old, the price is 2,000 for the 4-year-old. But if you look at the end of the year, and if you check for 31st of December, the end of the year, the 4-year-old now, the price will be 2,400. So there's a change of 400, right? So that is what you call the fair value change. So you will multiply by 4-year-old, right? 4-year-old. So this one, you will multiply by 2,400 minus 2,000. And this one will give you 60,000. So the first one is 60,000. Then we go on to look at the 14 month. So the first one is for the 4-year-old. Now we look at 14 month. For the 14 month, on 1st of March, the date that you acquire, it was 1050. At the end of the year, if you look at 14 month as at the end of the year, because this is price changes, the price is 1,200. So you will times 1,200 times minus 1050, and then times 20. If you do that correctly, 1,200 minus 1050 times 20, that one will give you 3,000. 3,000. Yeah, 3,000. How? By taking 1,200 minus 1050 and then times 20 units, right? That gives you 3,000. The difference is 150 here. Next is for the 2.5-year-old. For the 2.5-year-old, on the date 1st of July, the day you acquired, it was 1st of July, right? On 1st of July, the price was 1,007. But if you look at 31st of December, for the 2.5-year-old, the price is 2,000. So the 2,000 is the price for 2.5-year-old as at 31st of December, and 2.5-year-old as at 1st of July is 1,700. So you will take this, multiply with 2,000, this one, minus this 1,700, this one, and you will get the figure 4,500. Take your calculator and calculate. And the last one is the newborn. for the newborn, on the day it was born, on 1st of October, this is for price changes, the newborn is 600. But by after 3 months, 31st of December, after 3 months, the price of the newborn, the market price now becomes 650. So it will be times, you are going to multiply with 650 minus 750, yeah, 750. So 750 minus 600. And that one will give you, multiplied by 4, that one will give you 240. Okay, if you total up 2000, you total up all this, right, you will get 68,100. 68,100. 68,100 coming from the fair value, gain on fair value due to price changes, 68,100. So it's 60 here, 3,000, 4,500, and this one should be 750 minus 600 times 4. This one is 600 actually, sorry. This one is 600, so I need to erase this. This is going to be, let's just take the calculator for a while and check what is the answer. 750 minus 600. So we have this times 4. Yes, it's 600. So 600 here. So let's take that. So this one is 600. And if you total up, you will get 68,100. And that one is just due to price changes. But you are not done with this yet. So what you need to do is you need to find out what are the one due to physical changes. Due to physical changes. So we will erase this so that we won't confuse with our physical changes. So let's just do the delete first. Okay, we are done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the one due to physical changes. So due to physical changes, right? So due to physical changes means you have, at the first one is the 4-year-old. So if you have 4-year-old at the beginning of the year, that 4-year-old will now grow to become 5 years old, right? If this 14 month on 1st of March, by 31st of December, that 14 month will become 2 years old because a gap of 10 months. So 14 plus 10, 24 months. 24 months is 2 years old. And then this 2.5-year-old on 1st of July, 2.5-year-old will now be 3-year-old. We are talking about physical changes, so we have to look at the physical transformation. And for the newborn, right? You have it here, which is on the date 1st of October, but by 31st of December, it will become 3 months. And another thing that you should include here is the gain on initial recognition for the newborn. So you need to also check that on the date it was born, I told you earlier the price was already there, which is on 1st of October, this price 600, right? So you need to also take note on that. So let's do the one that you have here. So here when you talk about due to physical changes, what happened is that you are talking about same date but different age, same date. So now the easy part is that you are going to compare or whatever price of different age group as at the same date. So we start off with 4 to 5. Okay, 4 to 5. On 31st of December, the 4 years old price is 2004. 4 to 5, this first one. And 5-year-old is 3,200. How many of them? The 4-year-old is 150. So times 3,200 minus 2004. And that was due to physical changes. So this gives you 120,000. 120,000. 120,000. Right? 120,000. Okay. Next one is the 14th month. For the 14th month, if you look, as at 31st of December, 14 month, and then by it will grow up to become 2 years old, right? So if you look at the price here, we use a different color. Okay. So it becomes 1,002 and 1,006. So 14 months. So the number here is going to be the one that you have is 20, right? 20 times 1,006 minus 1,002, and that will give you 8,000. The next one is the 3-year-old. For the 3-year-old, there are only 4 of them. 4, yeah, 4 of them. And the 3-year-old is not the 2.5 now will become 3-year-old. So this one is 15 of them. Sorry, 15 of them. So we take a different color. From 2.5 to 3-year-old, there are 15 of them. So look at the price. 2.5 here to 3-year-old. You have the two prices here, 2,200 and 2,000. So times 2,200 minus 2,000, and you get the price to be 3,000. The next one is the price of the newborn to 3 months. So 31st of December here, newborn and 3 months. So look at the price at that same age, same date but different age. 750 and 820. So how many? It was just 4. 4 times 820 minus 750. And that one will give you 280. The last one is the price or the gain on initial recognition, this one. So there were 4, and on the date that you have the 4 calf born, that is already a gain to you, and that was 4 times 600, and that was 2,400. So if you total up, this one would be 133,680. 680. So if you total up 133,680, you total up with 68,100, you will get 201,780. Just take your calculator and total up. And this is actually the gain on change in fair value that you will show in the SOPL, which answer B1 already. You get 11 marks to calculate that simple calculation there. Next one is to calculate the carrying value as at 31st of December. So when you are asked to calculate the carrying value as at 31st December, you need to understand that as at 31st of December, 31st of December, you have to calculate the carrying amount as at 31st of December 2017, and that will be at fair value less cost to sell on that date. And bear in mind, by that date, all the physical transformation would have happened. The newborn will grow up to become 3 months, right? The newborn will become 3 months. And this second one, the 2.5-year-old will become 3 years old. And then this 14-month-old, the 14-month-old, it will also grow up. It will grow up. And that 14 month was on which date? 14 month, it will also become 2 years old because the gap is 10 months. And the last one is the one that you have originally 4 years old. By the end of the year, after 1 year, the 4-year-old will become 5-year-old. So that was what happened. So let us just put the number here. In terms of the amount here, it will be 100. The 3 month would be 4 of them. The 3-year-old would be 15 of them, of the calf. The 2-year-old would be 20 of them. And the 5 years old would be 150. And to get the carrying value at the end of the year, just look at what are the fair value as at 31st of December for 3 months. For 3 months old on 31st of December, the price is 820. This one, 820. So times 820, the one here, number 1. And then the 3-year-old, look at 3-year-old, this one, right? Number 2. So this is number 1. So this is number 2. The 3-year-old, 15 times 2,200 RM, 2,200. And the 2-year-old, which one? This one, right? So this is number 3. So number 3, the 2-year-old, the price is 1,006. So times 1,006. And the 5 years old, the one here, which is number 4, the price is 3,200. So you total up all this. This one will give you 480. The second one will give you 32,000. The third one would give you 33,000. Take your calculator and calculate. The last one would give you 3,280, and this is number 4. And if you total up this, you will get 4,548,280. And this is the carrying value that is required for you to show them. And this is the carrying value to be shown in the soft P. And this is the fair value less cost to sell of biological asset on 31st of December 17. And therefore, you have already answered this part, carrying value. And if you prepare a soft P, let's say you prepare a soft P, and this is your non-current asset, and this is your biological asset, you are going to report 548,280. is 0. So this is the simple way of doing. You can also work it out by opening up the biological asset account, but that takes a longer time. With that, you get 5 marks, right? And you now get all the 19 marks. So I have finished discussing this. So I thank you for your attention. I'll see you when I will see you learn and read more. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.